as there are questions coming in and people are joining, I want to talk a little bit about today. Obviously, the Fed came out. They're raising interest rates by 0.75%. And it's expected that it's going to continue for the next several months, continuing to raise interest rates. What does that mean for your business? Like, well, that doesn't really matter. It's like affecting mortgages and things like that. Well, first and foremost, to home improvement businesses. When people feel like they have a lot of money in their house and that their house is going up in value, they're much more inclined to spend money on home improvement. They're much more inclined to maintain, repair, and improve that property. So it is in the best interest of every home improvement contractor that the real estate market does well and that people have money to spend. And so as we see interest rates go up and we see housing as it's become extremely expensive, both because of asset prices went up during 2020, 2021, and then now in 2022, not only are asset prices extremely high in terms of housing, but now interest rates are very high. So it's making it harder and harder to buy real estate. It's harder and harder, more expensive. Their monthly mortgages are extremely high. And so at the bottom line is we have to start thinking about how can we prepare our businesses for a time when we have high interest rates and people don't have as much money in their pocket and they don't have the value of their house going up every single month and they can't just take equity out and keep spending money. This is why I've been talking so much for years about having recurring work, because people are more likely in a recession to maintain their property versus improve and add to and construct new. And so I think it's important that every single contractor, home improvement, whether you are in cleaning, fencing, lawn care, landscaping, that you figure out a way to create recurring revenue where you maintain these properties. How else can you make sure that you are protected against this recession that is bound to happen? Now it's like super obvious. I was talking about this a year ago at the peak. Go back a year, October, at the very peak. I'm talking like, look, this is going to happen. And, sure enough, here we are. Everyone's going to talk about it. It's going to keep happening over the next few months into 2023. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. We're going to see inflation come down. And in my opinion, we're going to actually see when the stock market, when the big companies start coming out with massive layoffs and when they come out with bad earnings, the stock market's going to continue to fall as it did today. It already has like by 40, 50% in a lot of the stocks. Massive. Real estate now, it's coming down. In some markets, already down massively. And when this starts affecting unemployment rates, just see things switch. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens in 2023 as this recession starts to take place. So what can you do in your business? Number one, make sure you have recurring work. Number two is have customers that are insulated from this type of economy. These are customers that are less price sensitive. They're okay with price increases, as well as they hired you because of your value and not because of your price. All right. These are the customers that have 2 houses. These are the customers that have $1 million houses. These are the customers that are not going to cancel when you need to raise prices by $5 to account for the cost of inflation and rising wages and fuel. These are the customers you want to have. And so whether you are currently looking to get into business or you are trying to grow your business, I look at this as a massive opportunity. This is going to completely clean the clock of this industry. I've been talking about this for many years, and I thought 2020 was going to be the year when this happened, when all of the B players get wiped out in the industry. And it wasn't in 2020 because the government stepped in with so much capital that people actually started starting businesses more because there's such an influx of capital. As people got laid off or got fired from their job, they got a ton of cash to go start a business on the side. And guess what they did? They started home improvement businesses. All the B players are going to get wiped out over the next 12 to 24 months. I've been talking about this since the very first conference, Landscape Summit. By the way, everyone should sign up for Landscape Summit. Go to mikeandys.com/summit. We have one coming up here in January. It's going to be a phenomenal event. And I was talking about like what would be 4 or 5 years ago when we had our first one. I said, look, we all need to prepare ourselves for the next recession. And we are going into that moment right now. And this one's not going to be fast. This is not going to be a 2-3 week recession like we had in 2020, where it's like a quick scare. This is going to be a 6 to 12 to 18 month downturn that is going to completely clean the clock of this industry. And this is, I've said this before, this winter is going to be a record year for amount of landscaping companies, home improvement businesses going out of business and selling their company. And I'm putting my money more where my mouth is because I think it's an opportunity and there's going to be a real need. And so literally we're creating lawncarebusinessforsale.com, should be up next month. And because I think there's going to be so many people trying to get out of this business because of wages inflation and fuel inflation. So